What is up, guys? It's Gage here. Welcome to you, Buck That. And today we have a special guest, Devin Darrington, Orlando Guardian, running back drafted in the seventh round. Welcome on the show, my guy. It is a pleasure to have
Appreciate
you.
it. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on, man.
Feeling pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm good. Holidays, Christmas, leading up to New Year's. I got my birthday coming up in a couple days, so family's here and just having a good time. I'm blessed. Waking up in the morning, just can't complain at all.
Yes, it's always awesome this time of year to really have family over and kind of like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while, man. Kind of
Yep,
catch up, and it's just an amazing time.
yep, for sure.
So you got drafted for Orlando this past month in November. How was the draft process coming in? How was communication with the coaches? And
Oh man, the draft process, it was really smooth, a lot smoother than I thought. I knew our offensive coordinator, Coach Ford, from Michael Johnson Performance down in Texas. He was down there, so I knew him over the summer, and got to build a relationship with him. And leading up to the draft, I got a call from a couple teams, and went out to Orlando and stuff. Just to see the area and everything. And it was really smooth because like everybody would just send emails and constant communication and let us know where to be, and you really what to look out for in terms of emails and what forms we need to sign and all that stuff. So leading up to the draft, man, it was just really just talking and communication and hey, we're interested in you and looking out, we're gonna try to draft you, stay tuned, look into the draft and things like that. So when draft day came, I tried to find it on TV, but unfortunately, I couldn't find it on TV, so I had to look on a YouTube live stream of it. But it was still, had the same feelings and effects. So, me and my dad was in the room. My mom, she was working, so it was me and my dad in the room, and I just remember being in the NFL draft, waiting for my name to be called, and not hearing anything, and the way that felt. So being in the XFL draft and hearing my name called, it made me really happy and made my parents happy. And that's really what was, mostly important to me. But, I'm excited to be on, the team and be an Orlando Guardian and, just give everything I have. It's a blessing to still be playing. And, I'm glad that we have a great group of coaches and players and guys that recognize our talents and my talents. And, extremely just blessed, to play the game of football. And especially at this level as a professional is all I dreamed of as a kid.
that sounds like a heck of a journey. And I'm like this time around XFL seems like there's a lot more professional I've heard. And it just seems like it was very smooth. Obviously, there was some complications because this is brand new. They just came back after like 2 years after what happened with the pandemic. What were you kind of feeling after getting that phone call? Like, did you expect the Guardians to call you?
I was expecting them. Yeah, I was expecting them to call me. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I've been, like I said, I've been talking to, the coaches for a minute. So, once they saw what I could do and watched my film, and they love me. So, um, they were just glad that they had that confidence in me to pull the trigger and um, take a chance on me. So I'm just glad that they called my name and it was a surreal feeling, man. A surreal feeling. Nothing like just sitting there and a bunch of guys' name being called. You're not knowing when your name's gonna be called, and they just say your name, and you kind of just lose a little feeling in your body for a second, and it's just a great feeling. Um, just hear your name called in the draft.
Yeah, couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. That's so. It's surreal. It's like wow, is this really happening? It's like everything you work so hard for because we all go through challenges, and you're like, I'm here. I made it.
Yeah, yep. And then right after that, it's like you have a little moment of celebration, and then after that, it's like not that you haven't been working hard or training, but it's like I have an opportunity of a lifetime right now. You know what I'm saying? I need to really lock in and take advantage of my resources and do everything I can to prepare even more. Um, and so just really just leading up to everything, just making sure all the focus on the little details and training and making sure your body's healthy and focusing on joints and flexibility and things like that, so you can stay healthy in the future and just play your best game.
And since being drafted, have you talked to any teammates? Obviously, you said you had some communication with the coaches. Have you trained with any of your players, or because the holiday has run around? So
Oh yeah. We actually have meetings like every week, offensive team meetings. So, with the coaches and the quarterbacks and all the rest of the offense. So, Francois and all those guys be on there. So we, got a chance to talk to meet everybody and introduce ourselves. And it's a everybody's bonding already. There's no awkwardness or anything like that. Everybody's just talking like we've known each other or been on the same team before. So I can imagine, when we get down there, it's gonna be pretty fun. Everybody will mesh well.
yeah, and you guys are in Florida, so there's definitely a lot of bonding you can do down here.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I
So
was
we
just checking out, like, because I was like, all right, I got to see what these guys are like before they got drafted and all that. And I'm really impressed with the kind of characters that were drafted to Orlando Guardians because they've been through some trials and challenges throughout their lives. And I think that kind of makes them more grateful. Like, hey, I'm here, and we're all going to build this team to run for a championship.
right, and that's the biggest thing about it. Everybody got a story. Everybody when we hop on those offensive meetings, everybody has been through things and has some things to prove. Guys, have passed with football and they just want to bring the passion out of themselves and everything that they work for. And like I said, for a guy like me, just playing since I was 8 years old, and it's always been my dream to play professionally. And for me, I just feel like I have a lot to prove, and just excited to get out there and just show everybody, what they've been missing out on. So, just excited leading up to it, and putting all the effort into training and just thinking about everything I've been through, my family's been through with football, and the journey has been pretty crazy, man. But every book needs a great story. So the way I see it, the conclusion it's gonna be a good one with the XFL.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the season to roll around. I'm a Bucks fan, so I'm still going through the motions this season. But
Yeah, I feel you, man. Who's your favorite player?
my favorite player would probably be Mike Evans. I
Okay.
love his character, and he's been with the team for 10 years. So I love he's a great leader, and he's honestly my favorite player. He's play everything. It's hard not to love him.
Yeah. I feel that, man, for sure, for sure. I think mine is I've always liked ever since I was a kid. I always like electric, like fast guys. So my favorite is gonna be Tyreek Hill. But I don't know. That's just me. Like I've always liked those fast twitch, electric guys that just make big plays out of nowhere. So it's definitely my favorite. But I don't really got an NFL team. I would say I grew up in Georgia. I was born in Alabama, but grew up in Georgia. So my family they were all like Falcons fans. But I really never really gravitated towards the Falcons. So I kind of just bounced around and support the players more than teams.
Yeah, it can happen that way sometimes. Sometimes you just don't really think about it. Like for me, I didn't even my family like love football. They watch it all every Sunday, but I never really got into it except for I did play Madden a little bit, but I didn't really become a fan until like
Okay.
I was like 14. So came in a
Okay,
little
okay,
later.
okay. Yeah, okay. So what made you want to start this channel, man?
Honestly, I've been very passionate about football. I used to play in high school. I became obsessed with football. It's been my passion. When I was younger, I was looking at becoming eventually like an NFL player, but it just never really came to fruition.
Hmm.
And I've always been a big fan of the Bucks. I was a Vikings fan at one point because my family grew up with the Vikings, but I came down to Tampa and I decided to become a Buccaneers fan, and I decided to create this channel. You bucked that.
Yeah, you fell in love with the heat, huh? You had to get out of the cold. But no,
Yeah, I
I
have to
feel
get
that,
out of the
man. That's
cold.
good.
I'm up from north, so I'm like, what is this? Is it December?
Right. No, that's good, man. That's good.
And obviously, we all have a story, as you said. And I was diagnosed with autism at 5, and I had a lot of challenges growing up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to create a podcast. I'm not going to give up my dream because people are saying I can or could not do something. So I created this
Right.
podcast. I'm like, there has to be a way I can still live my passion while not playing the game itself. So it's like I've created this podcast, talk about my favorite team, maybe eventually add a few other things like college teams I like to follow, and now Orlando Guardians, and maybe get to maybe help other people that have autism that feel like they don't have much options growing up.
Yeah,
So
man, that's admiring for that's good. Yeah, I got my first cousin has autism, man. So, you doing this and me coming on here, it means a lot to me. It's just glad that you're doing this, man. And it means a lot to me personally.
I appreciate that, man. It's been a journey, but I definitely love what I'm doing right now, and hopefully I can make it a career eventually.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Can't stop. Got to keep going. That's
That,
it.
that's what it's about. Gotta keep going, living the dream, because the only time dream dies is when you give up.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So you grew up. You said you were born in Georgia. Did you then move to Maryland? Because I think you went to John Carroll. John
John
Carroll.
Carroll, yeah. So I was born in Montgomery, Alabama. So my dad's side, his whole side of the family is from Alabama, and my mom's side is from Georgia. But they went to college together at Alabama State. So it was kind of like growing up, we kind of moved back and forth. And then starting high school, I moved up to Maryland, and I played for John Carroll for 3 years. And there, I had a lot of great success. Was one of the top players in the state. Had a bunch of offers and things like that. And then some things happened, and ended up transferring to Bullis High School my senior year, Potomac, and just had a great year there. Um, and met a bunch of made a lot of new friends at Bullis, a lot of memories that I won't forget. And both schools, John Carroll and Bullis, taught me a lot of things that I'm grateful for. And then leading up to picking what college I wanted to go to. I had a lot of Power Five offers, and I always, growing up as a kid, wanted to play Power Five. But Ivy League was knocking on my door, and if you would have asked me if I had the opportunity to go to Harvard in high school, like early high school, I would have been like, nah, that's kind of crazy. And so talking to my parents, I was kind of up and down between football and education, and it just came down to the fact that if you're good enough, the NFL will find you. And I had confidence in myself as a player. And so I couldn't really see myself walking away from a Harvard degree because, my parents and me as well, education has always been an important thing. I always had good grades in school and studied and things like that. So to me, it was just important because, just in case football, God forbid, doesn't work out, um, you know, Harvard degree is not a bad thing to have. But, obviously still chasing that dream of football. One thing about me, I don't give up. So if I want something, I chase it until somebody tells me I can't go get it no more. And even then, I'll still go chase it. But yeah, I ended up going there, man. And freshman year, Harvard, I played at the end of a couple games. Sophomore year, I played a lot. All the running backs rotating, splitting time. Junior year, I started, had a great year junior year. And then was preparing for senior year, and then COVID hit, and Ivy League they canceled our whole season, but we were still I was still in school, so it was like and at Harvard, Ivy League, you can't be a graduate student and play football at the same time. So it's kind of like guys were kind of taking a semester off, but I really didn't want to do that. I kind of wanted to get my degree. So that gave me the opportunity to grad transfer to the University of Virginia, where I played there. Um, and yeah, that was a cool experience, to play ACC and things like that. And I was glad that I was able to show that no matter what level of competition, I can always ball. So I had a great time at all schools. Granted, whether or not how many times I got the ball, ran the ball, or what happened or the outcome of things. Um, so I had a great time at all of them. And then after UVA, preparing for the NFL draft, I went down to Michael Johnson Performance down in Texas, McKinney, Texas, and that's where I actually met Coach Ford at. And after that, man, I was getting ready for my pro day. I flew back up to Virginia, training and everything like that. And um, 2 days before, man, I actually ended up having a minor hamstring strain, and so I was like bummed out about that because obviously I had to run the 40 and do all that stuff. So, my parents, I'm blessed to have them. We were trying to fix it. I was, getting ice baths, Epsom salt baths, massages, all that stuff, trying to figure out everything. The morning of, like the night before and the morning of, I literally got like a Toradol shot, trying to try everything I could to keep it from keep from feeling it. But just stayed there, and unfortunately, like, I couldn't finish my pro day. So that was a bummer for me because I've always been like a really good tester, and my numbers is always something that people ooh ah about. So I was kind of down about that, but talking to my parents and everything, just realized that that wasn't what defined me, and I defined what I want for myself. So just working after that, and then fortunately I got invited to the Kansas City Chiefs rookie mini camp there, and that was a great experience. That was fun. Um, and yeah, so after that, man, I've just been just training, and I was excited for the opportunity to play for the XFL. And once I got that phone call, man, it was just a great feeling. Being able to be back on the field and doing what I love. So no matter where I go, man, as long as I can play.
Sounds like a journey. It's and that those are a lot of great experiences that kind of give you new perspectives. Like rookie minicamp might not worked out, but you got to kind of see, oh, so this is what to expect once I get my opportunity in the NFL, and I can kind of learn from these guys because these guys been in it for a long time, and
Right.
and obviously I I played football when I was younger, so there's always a stereotypical like, oh, he must not be smart, he's a jock, or he's going to be a bully, or it seemed like that. So you might, I'm not sure how your high school was, but that could have been the stereotypical way. Even though you were trying to balance that out with education, and you ended up getting 4 years in a row with honor roll. That's not an easy thing to do. What was did you have challenges with that? Like kind of people like kind of judging you, like, oh, this guy's probably he just gets away with grades because he's a football player, or he's just a jock. You kind of have to
Um,
work for that.
Honestly, I kind of experienced that more in college. Really, in high school, everybody was, really respectful. And I guess that, just comes with, being a high school football player, being on a great team. Everybody's just gonna love me in high school. And I always in class, my teachers I always respected my teachers, really respectful, and stayed after class, never was afraid to ask for help, and work with other students and groups on assignments and things like that. So definitely in high school, like everybody knew like how committed, especially as we were as a team, having like our coach, so one of the good things he did was establish like a GPA requirement. So everybody was, locked in and had to go to study hall and do great things. And then college was the same way, going to Harvard. Obviously, we're taking the same courses as everybody else, and all the guys like on the Harvard football team are smart. So um, really, there were, you always have a few people who don't understand that the grind. I'm able to balance school while doing practice, while maybe some guys working at the same time. So a lot of people don't understand how how much actually like football players have to balance things, and but you're always gonna have those people. So, but for the most part, yeah, everybody is was really respectful, and I can't really think of a time where I felt really disrespected or somebody insulted my intelligence. So, I can't really say specifically for me, but I know certain people think I've heard people say things like all those football guys, they get scholarships, they get it all, but
Yeah.
really it's not really like that because we still have to perform in the classroom and take the same classes um and get the same grades, and so
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't. It wasn't like that. Where obviously you're gonna have people that judge you. That's just part of life. But it was kind of good that they kind of had a standard for you guys. Okay, you gotta get this level grade to be able to continue playing football, and we don't have no excuses. That sounds like a great head coach you got there, and that's why I say honestly, every high school should have that because it's important. Education is important because it gives you more options than football all or nothing. Because life is mysterious. It makes left turns. You don't know what you're going to be in 6 months or a year. So I
all
think
right.
it's great to kind of have that standard in school.
Yeah, yeah. And I used to like I used to look like when I was younger, I think my parents were like so hard on me and be like, "Dang, why they making me do this and making me do that, and I can't go here and can't go to this party or do that." And they instilled like a very hard work ethic in me when I was very young. And just looking back, like I'm so grateful for it. And I think a lot of times, like when you're younger, you don't, you do what you have to do on the field and in the classroom, but sometimes you don't have fun and do things like that, and you can do that, but for the most part, like you know, there's levels to it, and I was grateful for my parents, to teach me things and then talk to me about things. And so when I got to high school, like I was really, really, independent and on my own and studying myself, and I was really grateful for the work ethic that they, instilled in me and seeing my mom and my dad and how hard they work and their relationship together. What I'm really grateful for it because I know a lot of people may not have a mom or dad or both to really show them the way. So I'm very appreciative of my parents.
That's it's amazing to have people in your life that kind of can talk to you, and you feel like you can talk to them as well. You can be honest if you're struggling or just being there, kind of helping you guide you for this journey. Because when we're young, it can get a little wild. It can because you're a teenager, you want to do all these cool stuff you see on TV, the parties and all that. So you're like, yeah, I want
Right.
to do that too. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's good
Right.
to have
Right.
that guidance.
Right. 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 I mean, I was never really like a. I see. I didn't ever really like going out too much. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
every now and then, nothing wrong with going over to your friend's house or hanging with some friends and things like that. But everybody got to understand it's like a balance, and you can't have too much, and you just got to really know what you want for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, like I knew what I wanted out of football and out of my life and school and the things like that. So, I had a lot of friends that would go places and, I'd have to be the one that said like, hey, I can't go or, they'd be like, why can't you go? Like, oh, that's so lame. But, kind of, you're going to have those people in your life that try to get you to, have some fun with them. And, you kind of just got to base that judgment off of what you want and what you want for your future. But, for the most part, man, I'm just blessed to wake up in the morning, man, and just have a roof over my head and just have my family, man. So like we said earlier, man, just with the holidays and everything like that and football going on, ain't nothing I can really complain about because I'm blessed at the end of the day. I ain't got really nothing to complain about.
Yeah, and honestly, gratitude is a great thing to have because life is truly a journey, which is always my perspective on it,
Yeah,
and everything's and the pro day and also the going in the draft. It might not have pretty during the process, but it's kind of like a lesson, and you get more of a motivation. Like I can do this. I've done it before, and this time I can kind of improve of what I wish I would have done then.
right, right. Yeah, it's beauty in the struggle, man. Beauty in the struggle. Um, you know, and the way I see it, man, like, I ask myself in the moment, like, why can't I be one of those guys, first round, second round? Um, and not that I haven't, worked up my hardest or, not as talented as those guys, but sometimes it's just everybody has a different deck of cards that's dealt to them. So the way I see it, man, God chose me to take my journey, maybe for other people who are going through the same things or maybe because he knows I can handle it and have confidence in myself with my journey.
I say that's awesome because there's a lot of people. There's some people that will give up. It's like, man, I didn't make enough. Oh, I've gotten so far and I feel like I couldn't do it. But it's in those moments that show you who you truly are. Is it something that you really
Yeah,
want to do? Because this shouldn't stop you. You find a different way.
right,
You do a different way or Canadian League or something like that. Like
right,
even Warner, he could have just stayed at a grocery store with his family, but he's like, this is something I want to do.
right, exactly. Yeah, and me, like my dad, he played high school football, and he was really good. And then he went to college and ended up working somewhere, and ended up not playing football anymore. And even to this day, he looks back and is like, man, like don't stop. If I could have my years back, man, I wish I never stopped playing football. You hear it all the time. You can always go to the gym and shoot a basketball. You can always get a bunch of buddies and kick the soccer ball around, but very, limited times you can put on the pads and get a bunch of guys and hit each other and smack each other around. So, trying to take every practice, every training session, every game, as time to grow and experience and have fun. That's what it's all about, just having fun and learning, man, and just being the best player I can be. Because at the end of the day, no matter how far I get, I can just look back and tell myself like I gave football my all. Football gave me its all. There's nothing I can really hang my head about.
That's what it's about. The sport. It's about having fun. It's not supposed to be like, oh man, this is it. This is my life. Some people would is very passionate about it. It can be a part of your life, but it isn't your life because you guys are more than football players. You're human beings that have dreams and your own ambitions and goals. And I think it's
Right,
important to enjoy playing, no matter what level it is. You're still in your dream. You're still living your dream, and as long as you have that, no one can stop you.
right, man, right. I was sitting back the other day, like thinking, like, you know, I'm a professional athlete. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty crazy in itself, being able to say that.
It is. It's mind-boggling. And I bet it took a couple of days. Like, wow, this just happened.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just a blessing, man. It's a blessing.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, man. I'll be cheering for you guys, and yeah, I hope you have a great season, man. Can't wait to watch. Getting my gear right now. I'm about to get one of those Orlando T-shirts, so definitely
Yes,
excited to see you guys out there.
sir. I mean, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. And hey, you guys stay in touch, and I'm excited to be a guardian and give you guys all I have. So thank you for having me on, man.
And it's been an honor having you on, and I'm glad I got to see your journey, kind of get a look into your journey so far, and I can't wait to see you ball, man.
Appreciate it.
And I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like and subscribe, and I hope you buck that.